The first book that we read in leadership training is called The Outward Mindset by the Arbinger Institute. In that book, it talks about this concept of seeing others. And I love how it describes that as becoming alive to and interested in others' objectives, challenges, and needs. A good way to think about this is walking down the street. You run into all sorts of people. As you're looking down the sidewalk, you might see somebody huddled up in a corner. Maybe they've got a cardboard sign holding out a cup, asking for change. Clearly, it's a homeless person. I want to ask you for a moment, do you see them? I've watched a lot of people walk down the sidewalk, and if there's a homeless person around, some will typically look the other way. They might even cross the street. Anything to avoid making eye contact with or looking at that person. Now, I'm describing a scene in a very literal sense, but when it comes to seeing others, it's that desire to be aware of who they are or what situation they're in. Now, I'm sure you're a good person, and as you're walking down the street, maybe you do see that homeless person. Maybe you're interested in how they got into that situation, curious about what set of life circumstances led them to be here in this moment. You might even feel some sympathy for them and decide to give them some coins or some food. So as you're walking toward them, full of sympathy, all of a sudden, I want you to imagine the scene changes. 3 young men come around the corner. They too see the homeless person. They go and beat that homeless person, steal his money, and run away. Now, a moment ago, you were feeling alive to and interested in the objectives, challenges, and needs of that homeless person. You may have felt sorry for them. And now, after watching them be robbed, you probably feel anger, frustration towards these 3 young men who came and committed this horrible act. What should their punishment be? Should they be arrested? Should they go to jail? Now, sometimes in our anger, it becomes difficult for us to remain alive to and interested in the objectives, challenges, and needs of others. And so I'll give you that opportunity. Could you become alive to and interested in the objectives, challenges, and needs of those 3 young men? Let's be curious for a moment. What led them to this situation where they committed this horrible act against a defenseless person? Could we better understand where they are coming from, and how might that change how we feel about them? The whole point of seeing others is to recognize that we as a society pay a cost in order to not see each other. When we refuse to see each other, it first starts with arguing, which leads to fighting, which can lead to war, and doesn't end until one or both parties are dead, in many cases. When we choose to see each other, we create an environment where we can work together to find solutions to the challenges we face, and with acceptance, look for ways to help each other move forward. I love the outward mindset because it has changed the way that I see people at work and in my everyday life.